October of 2006 saw Rockstar Games, who were known primarily for their Grand Theft Auto games, took a chance at something a little different. I'm of course talking about the release of the video game Bully. Although it still carried over elements from previous releases, such as the Gangs of San Andreas and the Rise to the Top from Vice City, Bully this time took things to the schoolyard. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why I went back to this classic title, even though there are a lot more recent games to choose from. We'll be discussing some of the things you can do, the details that were put into the game, and comparisons to other titles by Rockstar Games. One thing I won't be comparing is the graphics of the game, as it seems unfair to compare an almost 17-year-old title to more recent releases such as Red Dead Redemption 2. If you enjoy what you see today, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and share with friends and family, or anyone you may feel would be interested in content such as this. Please be aware there will be spoilers ahead for the title, but I'll try to keep them pretty minimal. With that being said, let's get straight into today's content. Bully: why I went back to Bullworth Academy. For those who are yet to play the game, let me give you a little of the backstory. We play as 15-year-old Jimmy Hopkins, a rebellious teen who's managed to get himself kicked out of 7 different schools due to his behaviour, before arriving at Bullworth Academy. Jimmy comes from a somewhat broken home. His mother and new stepfather, which I believe is her 5th marriage so far, are going on their honeymoon and will be gone for around a year. This is why young Jimmy has been sent to Bullworth, to not only receive his education, but also to live on campus, as this is a boarding school. Dropped off at the front gates, Jimmy is met by Miss Danvers, who quickly orders him to visit Principal Crabblesnitch in the main building. Upon meeting the principal, Jimmy is sternly warned to keep out of trouble, and that the school will be watching him closely. Heading to the boys' dorm room, Jimmy is attacked by a group of bullies and forced to defend himself. Not a great first impression for the school. It's immediately after this that we are introduced to a couple of characters whom Jimmy befriends: Gary and Pete. Pete is the shy, awkward kid, whilst Gary is the more eccentric of the two, with a mean look in his eye. Gary takes us on a short tour of the school's main building, and we are introduced to a couple of different things we can do. Firstly, we learn how to apologise to bigger bullies, and even pay them to leave us alone. We are then shown how to break into other students' lockers, and if caught, how to hide from the prefects, who are somewhat the security of the school. We also learn how to take on small tasks for rewards, but we'll come back to that later. Gary then takes Jimmy to the cafeteria, where we are introduced to the cliques of the school. We have the nerds, the preps, the greasers, and the jocks. All groups are very stereotypically presented, and we'll learn more about each one as the game progresses. After this scene, we are warned by one of the prefects to get to class immediately, which takes me to the next topic I wish to discuss. In the original PlayStation 2 version, there were 6 classes to attend, but in the scholarship and anniversary editions, there are 10 in total. Chemistry, English, Art, Gym, Shop, Photography, Biology, Music, Geography, and lastly, Math. You can skip these classes if you wish, but the prefects of the school will be keeping an eye out for you, and if they catch you, you'll be escorted to class anyway. Each class has 5 different stages to complete, and after you finish all 5, they become optional to attend, so it's best to get these out of the way early. Although it's tempting to skip these lessons, passing each one does have its benefits. For example, my first lesson was chemistry, which was a minigame similar to the car hopping ones from GTA San Andreas. Basically, a button prompt. Upon completion of the lesson, I was awarded with not only a packet of firecrackers, but the ability to create them at the chemistry set back in my dorm room. The second class of the day was an English lesson. This one was a little more fun, as it gave me a bunch of letters and I had to create as many different words as I possibly could. Although I didn't get them all, after completing above 56%, I was still awarded a pass. Again, this was worth my time. Earlier, when we were grabbed by Russell, the huge bully in the white shirt, I had to pay for him to leave me alone. Now, in the same situation, all I would need to do is simply apologise. There are 2 classes every day, the first from 9 AM to 11:30 AM and the second from 1 PM to 3:30. It's worth noting that some of the classes aren't available until you reach Chapter 2, but Chapter 1 isn't too long, so you'll be there soon enough. Some of the classes are truly worth your time. For example, each time you pass the shop class, you're awarded with a brand new bicycle. Music, math and biology classes award you with new clothing, and a gym class allows you to learn new fighting moves too. Speaking of which, there's also a homeless guy who lives behind an old school bus on campus, which after completing a specific mission early on, he can also teach us some fighting moves too. Completing each R class will reward you with the ability to gain access to health boosts, and the geography lessons will pinpoint collectibles on your map. Completing the photography classes will award you with photo albums, a yearbook, and a new digital camera which captures in colour. But inside the school grounds, there's much more to do than just attend the classes. So let's take a look at some of the fun activities you can do on campus. There are so many different things you can partake in on the school grounds. Firstly, in one of the earlier missions, you can obtain a skateboard to make travelling around campus so much quicker. You can drink from water fountains, use the bathroom, drop firecrackers in the toilet, play keepy-ups and penalty kicks. You can give students swirlies, stuff them in lockers, gain some knowledge from the globe in the library, and even spell out rude words in the English lessons.
I'm afraid I can't allow that.
There are so many things that you'll never run short of fun to have. One thing that occurs in the game is the changing of seasons, and with this, the game alters. For example, when it's Halloween, you can take part in pranks on other students, such as dropping marbles so they trip over, throwing stink bombs, eggs and itching powder, and placing kick me signs on people. This also features a winter game where you can throw snowballs at other students. All of this plus performing a variety of random tasks for students too. But what about outside the school gates? What's in the town of Bullworth? Well, let's firstly take a look at my favourite attraction, the carnival. The school gates open as soon as you reach Chapter 2. To the western side of the city, Jimmy can find Billy Crane's travelling carnival. There are so many different activities you can enjoy here. You can visit a fortune teller and receive a bizarre answer, play a game of strikeout, swing the hammer on the striker to see how strong you are, attempt to sink a carny in a game of dunk tank, ride the giant squid or the roller coaster, have a crack at a shooting range, see yourself a freak show, bet on a fight, race go-karts, and even, a little later in the story, visit the funhouse. In most of the competitive games, you can win carnival tickets, which you can then use at your leisure at the gift shop to buy a variety of items. It's quite the jump in available activities, in comparison to the later Grand Theft Auto 5, in which the fairground only had 2 rides you could use, or even the games of pool and darts from GTA 4. It seems in the later games, Rockstar took a step backward when it came to side activities, but there's more than just a carnival in Bullworth. If you want to earn yourself an extra bit of cash, just like the students of the school, civilians of the town will ask Jimmy for assistance in a variety of jobs. Not to mention, you can also get yourself work as a paperboy or by mowing lawns across the town. But what can you do with all of this money? There's a general market where you can purchase groceries and such, bike shops to purchase new rides, multiple barbers offering different hairstyles, and several clothing stores with a wide variety of selection. Also, for some more activities, you can try your hand at boxing or even access an indoor skateboarding park. On a quick note too, If you don't feel like either riding or skating into town, you can always grab onto a passing car and hitch a ride. Now we've talked about the education and spare time aspect of Bully, let's take a look at some of the story of the game. I gave the backstory of Bully at the start of the video, and I mentioned the cliques that are part of the school. The tale of the game is that Jimmy refuses to be bullied by any of these factions and plans to take them all down one by one. Along his journey, he'll meet an array of peculiar and colourful characters, such as the drunkard English teacher, the school's unhygienic cook, and the angry carnival lady who was taking garden gnomes as a personal offence. This, plus the stereotypical cliques, such as the nerds who spend all their time at the library, the greasers who are a parody of the T-Birds, the preppies with their condescending attitude to rich parents, the jocks who control the sporting fields of Bullworth Academy, to the townies who you meet later in the title that are a bunch of rebellious teens who were expelled from the school itself. With almost 80 missions to complete in the game, it's not one of the longest Rockstar titles, but it's certainly worthy of your time. To summarise, Bully is just an absolutely fun title to play. Of course, we have a variety of games from the creators, such as the crime-ridden GTA 5 and the heavily story-based Red Dead Redemption 2. But for anyone wanting a break from these games and fancy themselves something with a little less seriousness, then I'd recommend grabbing this title for sure. The level of detail put in place is astonishing for a game of its time, and as I said earlier, it seems Rockstar Games took a lot of its elements out for later titles. The reason I went back to Bullworth Academy is because of the amount of activity and time that was put into the game. The world of Bully moves constantly, and there's always something going on. I enjoy the lessons and the fact that you have to try and keep to a schedule. It provides structure in the title and gives each passing day in the game a purpose. Is it a 10 out of 10 game? I wouldn't say so, but it's pretty close. Would I recommend grabbing this? Absolutely, especially now while it's at such a low price. I would like to have given more details, but I also wanted to keep the video as spoiler-free as possible for anyone who has not had the pleasure. You've been listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please hit like and subscribe and share with friends and family or anyone you feel may enjoy content such as this. If you wish to get in touch, you of course have the comment section below, or you can find me over on Instagram. That's at Philby Gaming. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.